Hello and welcome to Feats and Fables, a 5th edition streaming Dungeons and Dragons game just for adventurers like you. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you get your fine quality bespoke podcasts just by searching for Feats and Fables. If you want to watch us live and chat with us, please join us on Twitch from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday nights. Our entire backlog is on our YouTube channel, perfect for your listening pleasure. I'm Paige Lightman, the DM, and I'd like to welcome you to Aglarond. Aglarond is a peaceful pastoral nation of half-elves. Our heroes of Aglarond are part of the Foresters, elite scouts and rangers charged with defending Aglarond's borders, particularly against undead from the evil fascist nation of Thay. Our heroes have recovered a mythal artifact that dragged them into the Feywild and into a conflict with the Shadowfell. Our heroes have repaired a tear between the two planes and are trying to get the mythal back to Aglarond. Previously on Feats and Fables, our heroes closed the rift and jumped back to the Feywild. They're currently laying on their backs in the middle of a field, trying to figure out what they're gonna do next. So let's meet our heroes. I will never say you're awful, Joe.
Just remember, they can hear you, but they can't hear Joe.
Dance Master! Oh, God!
All right.
Why?
We're having some technical, interesting times trying to get to the next page here.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be Feats and Fables without, oh my gosh, we have to dance because of Chakuva!
Woo!
Thank you for the subscription,
Music
Chakuva.
on.
Make with the dancing!
Dancing!
Is the music playing? I can't even tell.
I was trying to get to the page would dance while we were having technical difficulties.
Oh, nice!
And now I'm having to dance too.
Hoisted on your own petard.
Unless it's a starship captain. And then I hoisted on my own Put-card.
Put-card.
Whoa!
You've ruined it, Ben. It's dead now.
I
Did we
mean,
get
Is
to the
it-
next page? Probably. Did we get there?
yeah, we're
Oh,
there.
we're fine now.
Oh, okay.
Our dancing
Thank you
saved
for
the
sub.
day.
Our
got there just
dancing
in time.
always saves the day.
Always.
Okay.
Good old dancing.
Good old dancing. You never do me wrong.
Nothing beats dancing. Just
Nothing beats dancing. So let's meet our heroes. We have Victor Toussaint, a human eldritch knight fighter played by Ron Frankie.
Enjoying being somewhere with color.
We have Wildfire, a fire genasi evoker wizard played by Joe Streaky.
I'm just gonna take a nap right here. You can all do what you want.
We have Ross, a lizard folk Drake Warden ranger barbarian played by Coda of Kodab Games.
Hello, everyone.
What Ross does not have are hit dice. We have
Hey.
Malagar, a drow twilight cleric played by Dr. Andrew Wong.
You know what I could do? Make a little house for us to sleep in safely. Yeah?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna need more healing from those shots that Paige just fired at me.
And we have Belwyn, a dwarven paladin princess played by Ben Heisler.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. I think if you take and make us an abode over there, like, you know, over by the trees, but there's some rolling plains over there that we would have good sight lines, and that would be a little house on the prairie.
Let me get you your bonnet.
The shaggiest of dog puns. It took you a long time to get there.
I mean, I had to do a nice setup.
You did.
Yes.
All right.
Quality all the way.
Yes. So you have arrived in, there we go, the fall realms of the Feywild.
At least we hope so.
At least you hope so. It sure looks like it. It feels like a brisk, cool fall late afternoon. The sky is a just a powerful, powerful shade of blue. There's a line of white fluffy clouds that look more ornamental than everything. You can smell the deep, good smells of rich earth and of moldering leaves, which are falling to the ground gently around you in a waterfall of brilliant gold and crimson.
Paige, out of curiosity, how far did we travel in the Shadowfell? Like, roughly.
It's a little hard to tell because everything kind of looked the same, but surely less than 10 miles, probably less than 6.
And yet it does not seem like we are 6 to 10 miles away from where we left the fairy realm.
Do you think so? Really? You've got that good of a map of the Feywild in your head?
No, God, no. But, like, does it... I mean, what's the temperature like here?
It's probably 60 degrees.
Oh, so it's still fucking cold. Great. I take off my ring of necrotic resistance, stow it safely in a place where I'll be able to find it later.
As soon as he starts to do that, Belwyn turns to Malgar and says, Quick! Before it's over! Kiss me, you fool! Provided you consent.
And then quickly put my running ring back on as Malagar goes in to kiss him.
No, Malagar's really fast. I feel like there should at least be like a dex save here to see if Malagar sneaks a peck in.
I think 5th edition has mechanics for this.
Andrew,
Initiative, right?
I would
Andrew.
buy a dex save
guys,
to move fast.
guys.
I would also buy a wisdom check of some sort to anticipate the situation and
Guys.
be in motion.
It has
Mike?
to be ambiguous enough that we could carry this for an entire season.
How
I'm
about
just
we secretly roll initiative and then Paige will know.
I'm for it, or I can roll initiative for you.
I'm going to-
Paige,
exactly.
you just roll initiative for everyone. Let us know what happens.
Yes, all parties involved.
Or
and,
Paige, you just roll
Do you,
some
want me to, do
initiatives.
you want me to make the initiative public, or
No.
No.
Keep it.
No. Why would any of us want to know this?
okay?
Suspense.
I'm
I have
getting
a
out
+1.
real, actual dice for this.
Wait, what are
you
those?
looking?
As
Just
Look at the piece.
just
Real,
for the
actual
record.
dice.
Just for the record, I am going to say, after this, I think we have killed this joke dead.
no, this is even
No,
better.
no, this
No,
is
no.
even better. All right, a moment. This is Belwyn's roll. Don't look. You
I'm
keep
not
your eyes over
looking.
there.
I'm averting my eyes. I'm trying to fill the air. Conversations about how I am not looking very specifically
All right,
about
and
what's
this
going on in
right
there.
here is Malagar's roll.
Bowen, I can't
Hi.
believe you'd kiss her or kiss him when we are married.
And this is Ross's roll.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty flexible on pronouns. It's cool.
What is Belwyn's initiative modifier?
I mean,
It's 0, right?
oh no.
-1.
Oh yes.
Okay, good. You optimized. Malagar, what is your initiative?
+1.
And Ross?
I am, oh god. You know, in all the windows that I opened up, the one I did not open was my D&D character sheet.
I mean, it's
Maybe
not like
I should spend
it's
some
not like we're
inspiration
playing
on this.
D&D. You can if you like. Your roll was kind of okay.
Don't tell me what my role was. I'm here for the suspense, damn it.
Got it.
I'm
All right.
+3 Page, just to be clear.
Okay, I know exactly what happened. I'm
Excellent.
gonna write it down. I'll be right
I feel
back.
like this is almost like, you know, when multiple cars collide and then the cop shows up and just sort of puts back together the chain of events.
Yeah, I kind of do the CSI thing. You see like the
Mhm.
numbers and lines kind of
Yes.
going around my head.
Yes.
But so do I. We're magnifying and enhancing over
Yes.
here.
Okay.
Unfortunately, from this view, the audience cannot see Paige's face, but she is rubbing her hands together
Mhm.
in
Oh, they didn't
glee.
see me actually hold up dice, like real physical dice?
No, we're still on
No.
the.
Oh.
No, I'm still having
Okay.
issues. I'm still having
Okay.
issues with the thing.
Most of you know.
Okay, there we go.
Pages, please look out there in Radio Land. So yes,
And
I'm sure you know
Real
what he's
live
making.
dice.
And that's how you
Actual
stall
dice.
long enough to get Joe to change scenes.
It worked.
See,
It worked.
There is actually a 20 on it.
I was working on it
Yes.
the entire time, guys. So
All right. I get my
Yeah, see? There is a
ring
20.
of cold resistance and I put it back on, Paige. Captain, we should really bunk down.
Well, I can set up a quick honeymoon suite here. Malagar will let's see. Well, he'll pull out the recipe card and be like, "Right, what was that thing again? Oh, a crystal bead. I do have a lot of beads on the string here. That's very convenient. And let me just untie this. A large crystal bead, I'm sure, is just fine, right?" And he'll wave his hands around in the appropriate symbols for I'm building a virtual yurt around us, and one
yurtual?
forms. A yurt. Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You may have a point of inspiration, sir.
Ah. All right, everybody, get inside,
I mean,
or
Ross
the lizard
gets
man will
inside.
freeze to death.
I get inside. Also, it's pretty temperate here, so I don't know that we're gonna freeze to death. But
I mean, 60 degrees. It's
Sorry.
still jacket weather.
It's snuggling weather.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, the reason
Well,
why Wildfire would make a face because his body temperature is higher than anybody else's, and he's always at the bottom of the snuggle pile. Going, Ross, no, just Ross, stop,
But
Ross.
you're so warm.
You know, we could get you those sleeping bags with a tube that connects in the middle. I think I've got one of those somewhere.
Wait,
It's
actually-
Oh!
It's actually quite nice inside this hut.
Yes, I hope so. I just spent one of my finest beads to make it.
Well, how are you going to start the lawnmower now? Because I thought you just went.
It's just a little bit shorter, is all.
Wait.
We'll get more at the next town. It's fine.
All right. I'm ready to hit my long rest button. I don't know about anybody else.
I lay down.
I was waiting for the stunned silence to clear, so.
I go to sleep.
Now, here's the real question. He goes to sleep. Ross is already snoozing. Balagar looks pretty relaxed and trance-like. Who knows what Belwyn's doing? Does Victor kick them all awake at this point?
I don't kick them awake, but the people that are awake will go on watches.
I'll be on first watch.
Yes, I usually take middle watch, I think, because.
You only
It
sleep
doesn't-
4 hours.
Yep.
I mean, I think
I normally take third watch. I think.
I know, our audience probably knows our watch order better than we do at this point,
We haven't worried about it in a while, so
right?
because
What
we
is this?
haven't taken long rests in a while.
What is this long rest we're doing? Is this
Uh-huh.
a rule?
Or you took long rests in Mithrandain, where you were putatively safe.
right.
Putatively.
So we'll do Belwyn, Malagar, since they're still awake. And then we'll do Victor and
Usually Ross,
or Ross.
Mhm.
And then Malagar.
because that way you have Ross, Malagar, and Hewitt, who all can see things.
Malagar and Wildfire.
I can see things, I just choose not to. Thank you.
It's true. Nobody's happier when the paladin has more
Okay,
information.
Paige, I'm hitting this long rest button unless you scream right now. Alright.
I was hoping.
Y'all can take long rests anytime you want.
Kirkush demands we all get up and, instead of sleeping, dance some more.
All
Because we just
right.
got another subscription.
Oh, wow.
Kurgosh,
Right for 10 months.
Thank you
10
again for the
months.
subscription.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a excellent time to remind people this is episode 50, everybody. Episode
It is
50.
episode 50.
That's right.
50. 50. That's a long time.
Can you
Thanks
think
for
about
hanging with us.
what you
I would like-
spent 100 hours of your life doing? We can.
Yes.
I would also like to think that this is the
5-0.
50th time we've danced. But it's definitely more than that.
It's definitely more than that.
Fiddy, old slow tiger, Fiddy.
Man, it's going to be really weird when we do a live show and somebody in the audience just says, I subscribe! And then we all have to stop what we're doing and dance.
That would be
You say
fine.
that like I wouldn't actually do that.
an amazing feature. What is Joe even doing? He's talking and we
Oh,
can't
I
hear
thought
him.
I'm muted. Second round, same as the first. Another subscription.
Oh, it's happened again!
Holy security!
It is the 50th
This was
I
the
regret
dance
it.
war,
Left
you
off.
monkeys.
Joe made a spot check and also the international hand gesture for dance more.
Dance more.
Right.
This is dance more. I think that's pretty obvious.
This is wrap it up everywhere else in the universe.
Yeah. Marines, we are leaving.
Kind of what I was hearing. Now we know that's Joe's signal for dance, so this will be hilarious.
Dance!
He uses it a lot.
Joe's just like, shut it down, guys. We're done.
Thank you for the subscription, friends. That was Kurgosh and
Rally security.
We are
Security.
so well
Wake
subscribed.
up, bud. Alrighty. So yes, other than some, there's clearly some drunken brownies dancing far away down the road. You take a long rest that is absolutely uneventful.
I look
The
down at
night-
my rations when there are drunken brownies dancing, and I'm just like, nope, it's the Feywilds.
Uninterrupted, I am more suspicious now.
Yes. So like the night gets like the sky fades to purple into that beautiful, beautiful, rich blue. There's a spray of stars twinkling in the heavens in unfamiliar constellations. A crescent moon rides low over the horizon. The sounds of birds and nightjars and crickets are soothing and pleasant in the background. The sun rises as dew sparkles on the grass, scintillating into rainbow colors with the odd visual effects that are common in the Feywild. And the sun comes up, and you can just feel like the whole world is new and pure and clean.
Also, I just want to
Gross.
quickly say, it's been so long, I forgot where the long rest button is in the interface.
So, Paige, I take it I should continue to keep my 5th spell slot marked as used.
Oh no, it's totally cool.
Oh, sweet, excellent.
And just
No problem at all. Barely inconvenience.
for
Oh, getting spell slots back is tight!
Just tight.
for those playing at home, just to make sure we're doing this right. You know, not me, because I wouldn't make this mistake. The long rest recovers only some of our hit dice. I
You have
believe?
only half of them.
Half?
Half of them.
Half.
If you hit the button, it should have done the right thing.
Well, so it gave me half of my ranger hit dice back, but none of my barbarian level hit dice back. Is
It
that
might
right?
take it in the order that you got the levels.
Do I get to choose that order, or is that
That
something-
is a question for Ron.
I don't know. You probably get to choose.
Sounds fine to me.
Quick audience, this is your opportunity to prove Ron wrong. If you know
Grab
what it
your
says.
books.
There's some kind of specific rule about this. Which there probably is.
Surely there is, but
Meh.
Okay. So there you are. It's a lovely morning. Birds are chirping.
I'll send Hewitt up to see if he can get an idea of a direction of any kind of civilization.
Sure.
Yes, sorry.
Is there a chance that Wildfire was doing something else during his watch?
That's true. I would have been sorting through and documenting all of the treasures that we found and also identifying it.
Okay.
Hooray!
All right, so there is a chest. Why no go there?
Logging them meticulously.
Yes.
Okay, so I know how this works. So
It fills out paperwork.
first I attempt to identify all the traps on it. Then I attempt to remove all the traps, and I attempt to pick the lock. All
right. That should be some die rolls along with that.
Sure.
Pick what, Joe?
Pick coffer. No, disarm coffer. Oh no! I've already got fleas. It's a big
Red, no green! So one thing that was strongly magical is an ornate gemstone-studded wooden chest. It's studded with onyx and moonstone that weighs, I don't know, maybe 20, 30, 40 pounds.
Sure.
It's maybe, I don't know, 1.5 long, probably foot wide, and maybe like a foot tall.
Sure. I would try to identify any traps on them before I handle any of these.
Sure. Make me an identify traps on it roll.
Sure.
Well, we did have to grab them all quickly to jump through the rift in time and space.
That's true. They've been handled pretty well.
They have been handled, but nobody's tried to open it.
Yeah.
Or unlock it.
Here is my investigation. Hey, I rolled. There we go.
All right. In the immortal words of Vin Diesel, it looks clear.
All right. Is it locked?
It is locked.
And the box itself is magic?
Yep.
I will attempt to identify the box as magic before I proceed.
Okay. It is a singular item without a particular name. But the chest has 20 charges. You can use an action to touch the closed lid of the chest and expend one of those charges while naming one or more non-magical objects, including raw materials, foodstuffs, and liquids, worth a total of 1 GP or less. The named objects magically appear in the chest, provided they can all fit inside it. And the chest doesn't contain anything else.
Okay.
So you could conjure up a bowl of Fat Mars cabbage soup from what's the name of that bar in Flan?
The Laughing Goblin, I want to say?
The Laughing Goblin Bar in Flan. And you would get a bowl of Fat Mars cabbage soup. You could...
Paige, why would we want that swill when we could get... is that camel's milk in your cup? The signature brew of...
You could.
You get a flight of Scotch eggs?
You could get a flight of different preparations of Scotch eggs, but you could stuffed animal or 20 caltrops or
Could you get
purple loincloths or what have you.
Could you
It's
get
up to 1 gold piece in value, though, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
this thing can just spawn loincloths?
Yeah, but they're
I'm
only in the
ruined!
shittiest quality loincloths.
Is it currently empty?
It's locked, so...
Oh, sure. I attempt to unlock it.
Ron, you had a question in there?
Can it make a book?
It could make a book as long as there is a copy of it somewhere that is worth 1 gold piece or less. There's apparently not a hard limit on, like, food stuff cost.
Is the book valued by the materials or by the knowledge contained within?
It is worth what someone will pay for it.
What is value?
It's a very capitalist chest.
Ooh,
So that's
can we measure it by what an Eladrin would pay for it in gold?
Yes.
Oh, wait. That actually works against us, Coda.
that is a 1 on your
Well, yeah, I
roll.
definitely didn't open it with my first roll for sure.
Yes. However, picking it up, or not picking it up, but by dealing with it, you hear something shift inside it, as if it is not empty.
I assume I can try to unlock it again,
Sure.
and maybe
You
not
can-
roll a 1. There we go.
Certainly try. All right. You believe it is unlocked.
Do I believe it's unlocked, or is it unlocked?
Are you going to turn the lock and find out?
Yes.
Okay, you turn the lock and it comes unlocked.
I look inside.
When you look inside, something explodes all over you. I will need a dexterity check, sir.
Sure.
Or
Save.
dexterity saving throw.
It's just red paint.
12.
Are you doing?
Excellent.
I
You
mean,
are-
am I? I would be within Belwyn's order, so it's actually 5 higher than that. Does Belwyn's aura occur while Belwyn is asleep?
Yes.
you can be unconscious and it works?
I think it's as long as I am alive, it works. Let's go find out.
Yeah, it'll matter.
I think it does.
I mean,
not make
when
qualifier.
Belwyn is unconscious, does her god just stop?
God doesn't give a shit about Belwyn when Belwyn's asleep. We learn a lot today.
Belwyn may not be able to maintain the link with her god while unconscious.
Mm.
Nope. While I'm asleep, it doesn't work.
Aw.
Ha! No 5 extra points
So,
for you for doing
You
this while
know
I'm
the
asleep.
old
Elf
Maxell
Paladin for the win.
stereo commercial where it's the guy sitting in the chair and like
Uh-huh.
his tie and his hair
Yep.
is blown back? So that happens to Wildfire, but with glitter.
Huh.
Oh,
Like-
So you're telling me a 24 investigation didn't reveal that?
That was an external check. This is on the
Wait,
inside.
no, whoa, no. That's not the way this works.
That's totally how this works.
Totally.
You're examining
Yeah.
the lock and everything around it. You can't examine the inside of it from the outside while it's locked. You don't have X-ray vision.
Okay.
or
okay,
do you?
Okay. So now describe to me in exacting detail the steps I need to take to avoid this in the future as a player, because I was not under that assumption.
X-ray vision. Look at it ethereally.
So you're saying
Yeah, an
an
arcane
investigate
trick
check,
here.
it's not possible for me to
Yep.
detect a trap inside of a chest ever. So if I take a small box and put a giant trap in it, then
Well,
it
you
will
also
murder.
weren't-
Anyone opens it, they can't detect it from the outside. I'm just making sure I understand the ruling you're making here.
Yep.
Okay.
There's plenty of precedent for the outside of the chest is fine. The inside says on the lid, "I prepared explosive runes today."
I
Okay.
can already feel Joe's machinations.
I mean,
Joe's-
I'm
Joe's
just
never gonna feel
verifying the
safe
ruling,
again.
and I will just abuse it going forward. Sounds great.
Please do. However, once you manage to blink a little glitter out of your eyes, you see there are several objects in there.
I
think-
look at those objects.
I think we're missing the real tragedy here is that behind
Oh, man.
Wildfire
It's
is
like
just a glitter shape outline of Wildfire.
So
like,
when did
there's
this happen?
a glitter super fun sight occurring behind
It happened during
Wildfire.
third watch. So Maligar, you are around.
Mm-hmm.
Malagar will.
There's also some kind of animated butterflies that are flying around near the chest. They're
Sure.
illusory.
I'm pretty sure this is just Tuesday night for Maligar.
It is. This is a good look for you. You know, it's a good thing that all of my tiny huts come with stripper poles because you are prepared. Wildfire, get up on there. We'll give you a few lessons.
Nah, I'm fine, thanks.
But
Uh,
look at this. So much glitter to put to waste.
Prestidigitation.
Ugh, you're no fun.
Ooh, the sovereign remedy for glitter.
Mm-hmm.
So once you clean it off, you find that the chest was spring-loaded with something kind of akin to the can you open and the snake on the spring jumps out.
Sure.
Anyhow, you outspills 3 potion bottles, and they're super, super fancy. They have like
Ooh.
precious metal filigree on the bottles to reinforce the glass, and they have like colorful wax around the stoppers. A absolutely gorgeous robe that is silk robe with gold embroidery, has illusory butterflies kind of streaming all around it.
Oh shit!
What?
Oh, no,
that's
I
just
mean, that's what
Malagar's
Malagar
strength.
says.
Yes. The chest is also kind of a bit larger on the inside than you might have expected, like not a lot.
Mhm.
And a pile of arrows fall out of it as well.
Hooray, more arrows.
Sure. Which of these? What of all of these is anything not magical?
All of it is magical.
Okay.
Ooh.
I take it all
Also-
out of the chest.
Yes.
Close the chest.
Yes.
Loincloths, and then I continue.
Okay, you open the chest, and what did you have in mind when you said loincloths?
Oh, definitely Ross loincloths. The chest is full, packed full of Ross loincloths.
Oh yeah, they're knockoffs, but
You know what would have been awesome is if the trap reset.
Yeah,
my
Malagar.
loincloths are worth at least one
To
gold.
be fair, Wildfire would have extracted the trap device as well.
Malagar will also come over to Wildfire, and when Wildfire closes the chest, we'll take the chest from him and aim it away from himself as he opens it up again. That's one of the few things I remember from Rogue School. Don't put your pretty moneymaker in the way of danger.
It's fine.
I'm worried
also,
about the potions. I mean, the potions could easily be trapped on the inside as well. So when we open the drink, they explode and kill us.
Right.
That's
They
totally possible.
also, I mean, those potions are just spring-loaded snakes in a bottle.
Included though, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Right.
I will identify each of them in turn.
all right, one is a potion of mind reading. The next is a potion of watchful rest. And the third one is a potion of vitality.
What happens to the chest when the 20th charge is used?
If you use the chest gains 1d20 expended charges daily at dawn. If the last item's charge is expended, roll a d20. On a 1, the chest loses its magic, and all the gemstones turn to dust.
No.
You have a pack of 17 plus 3 arrows.
Damn.
Also, in the hall from the Eye Tyrant
Mhm.
was a sword. It is. It looks quite old.
Sure.
It's got a green jade bauble in the pommel, and the hilt looks like a Medusa's face. It's a lovely woman's face, and she has snake fangs. And the snakes that are her hair make up the hilt guards and kind of wrap around the not pommel. What's the word for handle on a sword? Grip?
Guard.
Guard.
No, the guard is the thing that comes up on either side.
You have a hilt?
Hilt.
Hilt. There's the word.
The hilt's the
crossbar, right?
yeah.
That's whatever.
Regardless, the grippy thing. Word escapes me at the moment. But in each of the snakes that are coming out of her hair, it looks like it's an old bronze because it's got discoloration on it. But each of the snakes has tiny little jade chips for eyes.
Okay.
When you assess the magic on it, you realize it is a Gorgon blade. It is a blade made by Medusae that involves tempering the metal with the addition of Medusa blood. If you hit a natural 20, the target must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, in addition to whatever else happens. On a failed save, it's restrained. If it has to make another con save at the end of each of its turns. If it successfully saves against it 3 times, it's fine. If it fails 3 times, it's turned to stone and is subjected to the petrified condition for 1 hour.
All right.
You know, I've seen one of these before, says Malagar, pointing at it. It belonged to an Aglarondian acquaintance of mine named Emil Zola. We called him the Gorgon Zola.
Does it require a attunement page?
It does require attunement, and there is a drawback. If you attack something and roll a 1, you fall under the petrification effect and must make the saves.
Interesting. Okay.
Actually, no, does not require 2 money. I take that back. No,
Okay.
Interesting.
What else we got?
a whole bunch of money and some precious items that are not magical.
Was there also
Such
a
as...
set of robes, I remember?
Yes, the robes are magical as well. Sorry, I thought you'd pulled those out already.
You haven't told me what they are.
They are glamour weave. It is a clothes built with an illusion in it that the user can slowly shape to different illusions. This one is powerful enough to create harmless illusory effects that project slightly from the cloth, like the butterflies.
I call dibs, Malagar says, looking at the sleeping people.
You can program it to say eat at spirits.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so bad news about that, everybody.
And make sure all your Twitter and stuff is also on there with it.
Yep.
Yes.
Very important. Okay, so I got the potions, I've got the cloak, the blade of Medusa, the arrows, the chest. Anything else?
Objet d'art,
Mm-hmm.
a pair of stone mugs with jade inlay, 5 gold rings set with different shades of bloodstones, a silver crown, a carved ivory statuette of skeleton, a gold bird cage with electrum filigree, and a large, well-made tapestry.
How much in total do I think I could get for these on the prime material?
It looks like in toto maybe 3,000 or 4,000 gold. Kind of depending.
Sure, 4,000 gold. Gotcha.
3 to 4,000.
You drive a hard
Right,
bargain.
4,000 gold. I gotcha. I'm gonna if I can get 4, I'm gonna get 4. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
What type of sword is the Gorgon sword?
It is currently a longsword with kind of a curved blade.
Sounds good.
I mean, can you change the size by like willing it into a short sword or something?
Is that part of the enchantment?
That is not part of the enchantment.
Okay.
Can't give it like a couple of little blue pills and then turn into a great sword.
Stop.
Do I think the chest could be stored inside the bag of holding? No, I mean that's a thing. That's a thought that I would have.
That is yes, it totally can. It is not an extra dimensional space.
Okay.
The laughter was, I am glad you thought to ask that because I didn't. And how shitty that would be if it was just like, no, we'll just start it there, and then now we're pirates on the Astral Sea.
Okay, so I take all the loincloths, I surround them around Ross's tent, and then I prepare some food for breakfast by the chest.
Wait, did Ross pitch a tent inside the hut?
I didn't. So my
sure, sorry, not a
is
tent.
now surrounded
it's
by
just-
loincloth.
Just around Ross in like a circle, like some kind of ritual circle around
Yes,
Ross.
yes. If you were going to summon Ross with a loincloth circle.
Exactly.
What would the other two items be to summon Ross?
Raw meat and a spirit.
Yep.
Like bourbon or
No, like an elemental spirit.
So, Paige, sorry, go ahead.
cinnamon whiskey, like Fireball? Sorry, Joe. Thank you for.
No, I think that works. Given the size of the chest on the inside and its description, we could very easily have it create a whole meal for all of us that they could easily feed all of us, right?
I mean, if you're willing to eat less than 1 gold piece swell.
No, I think Paige did mention that, like,
Yeah,
for food, it's like the base cost, not like the prepared cost.
Yeah,
But
It's
it's
like
not
ingredient.
bucks.
it's like ingredient cost, not chef cost.
For specifically food and drink.
You could write a dissertation about this thing.
For specific, yes, I'm gonna. This is Wildfire's chest right here, my friends. It's the new magic item. Learn how to make this stuff. Just market it. I will prepare food for everyone using the chest then.
Okay.
Because there's no reason not to.
Shake. Raw steaks. Plop right on Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Ross is going to wake up so incredibly confused and also aroused.
Not disappointed, just confused.
Yep. He's gonna assume he went to some sort of fugue state and just made a bunch of loincloths over the evening.
No.
I'm excited to find out what he actually thinks.
Wildfire, when Ross gets up in the morning, he looks around his sleeping area. Why? Wildfire and Malagar are on watch right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wildfire, Malagar, why? Who? Why am I surrounded by crappy knockoffs of my best work?
Yeah.
He says,
Why
picking up
Wildfire?
some of the raw meat and eating it.
What? No. What? They look great. I think you did a great job on all of those.
He looks at them. You're kidding, right? Look at the inlay on this one. It's a mess. I wouldn't be caught dead in something like this.
I like Victor's face. Rod's like, I can't. He's like, what kind of inlay do loincloths have?
No, it's you made copies of his loincloths, so he knows he didn't make them. But I guess he doesn't know that they're copies, so he's basically insulting his own work.
No, he made shitty copies.
No,
Wow.
I made copies worth of gold.
Uh-huh.
So that's
So
like
it depends
every
on how much-
loincloth you've
depends
made
on how
since
much your
you were
loincloths
born.
normally
Being
sell
the
for.
only person who is willing to pay for my loincloths, I value them at much more than a gold, ergo, shitty knockoffs.
No, I think there are many people who would buy your loincloths at cost.
I
Yeah.
don't,
Who
be
actually
very
has
happy
the
with them.
crafting
I
skill
don't
here?
think so. So, yeah,
Wait,
shitty knockoffs.
you don't think anyone would buy your loincloths?
You heard what I said. There is an operative yet in there, though.
How much do you think your loincloths will be worth when you can sell them, though? I'm so fascinated in the economics of this.
We may never know. Cool. Moving right along. I have no way out of that scene. Like, I'm now just eating some raw meat for breakfast. It's delicious.
You know, maybe I can get the primitive lizard man loincloth look to become popular with a certain set that I run with. That-
Ooh, go on.
Often partakes of loincloths. Is that a thing that you're interested in?
We should talk when we get back to the prime material.
Oh, sure. See if that fits with your corporate image.
I just think they're going to fit funny because some people here are used to internal genitalia and some people aren't.
Yes, we should.
It's just a profession.
Is a corporate.
You know, a company, a concern, a firm.
Do you mean my Etsy page?
Yes. Why not?
Ah,
So for breakfast, I prepared everyone's favorite foods because I have the ability to do that. So I do that.
Can it create hot or cold food?
Ooh, so you finally have your gazpacho that you've been waiting for so long?
To be fair, even if it couldn't create hot or cold food, I could make lukewarm. I could make room temperature food and then heat it up or cool it down via prestidigitation.
No, Ron, I see where you went.
I know where all of this is going, and I now regret everything.
You know, it's just some cream and some eggs and some flavoring.
Yes,
Right,
I do get Victor some ice cream. It's true. You
So,
good call,
Ice
Ben.
cream or
Yeah, no, specifically
Paige.
ice cream.
Paige,
or
just because I don't want to be associated with any of what's going on right now. I'm going to start my exercise regimen, summoning forth a Blackguard Drake from beyond, and I'm gonna move away from that when it explodes from all of the role playing that's happening there. I need you to know that, Paige.
I appreciate that, Coda. I appreciate that. So Goose is super excited. She's got a lot of energy today. She is running around, bork, 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 or whatever sound Guard Drake makes, which I think is bork, bork. And as you're out there with your keen eyes, you notice that you are being closely watched by a variety of small fae, the largest of which is probably no more than 6, 7, 8 inches tall. And they look at you from trees, from the nearby field, and they just seem more curious than anything. If you look directly at them, they scamper away, but then return as soon as your gaze moves elsewhere.
Shit, that's right. I go back to putting on my best smile.
You notice quite a bit of them seem to vacate.
Weird that they keep doing that. Paige, when I am out of immediate eye shot of the camp, I'm going to take a moment and just feel the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been itching like hell, but you now have points of bone sticking out of your head, probably that much, 3, 4, 5 inches.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then I will move on and finish my exercise / scouting of the immediate vicinity before reporting back to Victor.
You do see that you're alongside a road. There is a kind of grassy field off to the side. There's a few trees on it. Looks like a fine place for taking a afternoon nap and watching the clouds. The little fae follow you all the way, and as you go through some of your stretches and jumps, you see them mirroring you, doing the same thing. And it looks like they've made it a game. There's a lot of very high-pitched laughing and giggling that involves into pushing and tag and then running around.
Any indication of where we are or which way leads to civilization? Do I see any sort of tracks on the road?
There are. Make me a. Do I see any tracks on the road roll?
I don't. Would that be perception?
That would be survival.
Survival. Okay. 1 survival at 23.
Excellent. So you can see that there has been foot traffic on the road within the last few days, 2 or 3 days, as well as a wheeled cart drawn by a horse, or something that wears horseshoes anyway. You can tell that nobody's been on the road since probably late afternoon yesterday because of the way the dew has settled on the road. Nobody's disturbed it.
Can I tell the direction the majority of the tracks are going?
Yeah, it looks like most of them are going that way.
Cool. All right. With that information, I will return to camp. Victor, there's a road just over there. Lots of traffic, most of it going that way, but hard to say whether they're coming or going.
Excellent work.
Paige, I'll send Hewitt up to kind of do a couple of big lazy circles to see if I can spot any specific settlements.
Okay. Hewitt's perception fades into your own as she does a large circle, and once she gets up pretty high, 1,000 feet, she can see Mithrandane in the distance.
Mithrandane is in that direction. Hewitt can see it.
Any estimates on how far?
She's pretty high up.
Half day's walk, maybe a day's walk.
Day, half day, something like that. Probably not more than 2.
Right then. Should we pack up here and get moving? Some of the local fairies seem to have taken an interest in us.
I mean, of course they have. Like, what do you think they do?
I don't really know what fairies do.
Right. You got to understand your markets there if you're going to keep, selling those loincloths. That said, this is the best, whiskey cheddar soup that I've had in quite a while since we've left, Boulder Hall, and I think that it's amazing. I think that you might be able to get a whole whiskey lunch out of it, and maybe even a whiskey dinner. It's a little bit off, but it's probably the best that I've had, a few days.
Well, I found a chest that can seemingly create things.
Oh, so all of our money trouble's over. We can just make giant piles of adamantine.
No, it seems to be. It can't make more than a gold worth of material at a time, but apparently with food, it kind of seems to be based on the material cost. I tried to make each of your favorite foods this morning, and it turned out reasonable. You definitely can tell it's not made by a master chef. It's it's okay, but it's good.
No.
Yeah, no, it's quite good. It's not quite peaty enough, but yeah, that's fine.
Shitty knockoffs.
Well, I think this is actually a really great omelet for being out in the middle of the Feywild.
Matter of fact, with all of this food out there and unlimited quantities of it, it's actually the Feywild.
God, how long have you been sitting on that?
A while.
That's amazing.
I got a double face palm out of Joe. I feel pretty good about that.
Woo!
I mean, Rally Security is face palming as well, so...
I flee from Mithrandane from this conversation.
That was impressive.
Run screaming. Run screaming.
I can walk and eat my berries and cream as we go.
Excellent.
Berries and cream.
There were a couple of potions, some arrows, Victor, that you should probably take. The cloak that Malagar is currently wearing and previously screeched mine at a very, very high pitch.
I thought that was something that woke me up. I wasn't quite sure what it was, though. It didn't sound like alarm.
If Malabar screaming at a high pitch wakes you up, you're not going to get through any washes.
Very true. It's really accentuating my features.
He did scream mine and then grab and go, "My precious." I don't know what that was about. I'm sure it's nothing.
Guilty as charged.
So, Malagar does find out that it was robes previously, but it doesn't seem like it's beholden to be robes. It's happy to be a white skin tight velour jumpsuit if that's what Malagar is feeling today.
I mean, that's good because it would have been awkward with its previous document if it was beholder to robes.
But I'm bummed.
Oh, Ron,
So
you missed your opportunity, Ron. You should have asked if the longsword could also be a velour jumpsuit.
Is that going to be our cryohydra?
I should have, yeah.
So, Malagar, what are you currently projecting into this space that we all live in?
I should probably come up with a picture of it, but it's kind of, we're sticking with the white velour theme, and it's I don't know how to describe it, but if you were a modern human being, you might recognize it as a tracksuit.
Excellent.
And Malaga actually pulls out some gold chains from somewhere, and hooks those up. And yes.
What
this
kind
is
of
the look I'm going for?
Are you projecting anything off of the clothing?
I will do musical notes for now. I think that's
excellent.
a good look. Yes.
I like it. Cool.
Malaga pulls out some footwear with 3 stripes on it as well, and dons that.
It'll also produce an amount of light equivalent to about a torch.
Oh,
Ooh.
excellent. I mean, this might be a problem in, combat and all, but for the moment, let's turn that sucker on.
You will be a shining star.
It's gorgeous.
Yes.
It looks like Liberace and Saturday Night Fever had a baby.
Success!
Maybe with Thunder Cleric, we'll just be staying alive then.
Ah! ah.
So, to Mithrandain.
Yes.
Mithrandain.
All right, you head in that direction. It is a beautiful, pleasant day, and you notice after walking for half an hour that you have a fair retinue of tiny fae following you, and many of them are aping your gestures and going and making little noises as if they were talking as you, y'all.
One thing I would do, Paige, before we got too far, is I would send a sending to our Treebeard friend.
Yearwind.
Yeah, Yearwind. Yeah. Like I said, Yearwind, and let him know that we're back and ask him how it went, like from his side.
All right. The return message is the rift is well closed. Thank you very much. We'll send representative to you in Mithrandain.
Excellent. I kind of sigh contentedly when I hear that.
All right.
Seemingly out of nowhere. Well, that's not true. I cast a spell, then sigh contentedly to everyone else.
So, that's a good sign.
The rift is closed.
Great.
Excellent.
Great work there, Wildfire.
So, go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
Hopefully, the Eladrin will feel comfortable giving us the Mythal back.
I hope so. I'd be rather put out if they didn't.
I'm still more concerned with how we will return home.
The Eladrin could easily send us home. They just weren't willing to do so with us being in possession of the Mythal. That was the problem. They're masters of magic.
They will have no other concerns that will delay us.
I agree with that sentiment entirely.
So you travel for about another hour, and you hear hoofbeats, or at least Malagar and Ross hear hoofbeats in the distance that sound like they are coming your direction at quite a clip.
We have a rider approaching.
All right, and within, 15 or 20 seconds, two riders come over a curve in the road and ride towards you with great intent.
Like,
Yogan!
That was an amazing noise.
Bad language.
Like they're just riding towards us, or they're armed and stuff?
They are armed and armored. They look like Algard.
Does the wind begin to howl?
No.
Cool.
All right, well, we will form up and wait for them.
All right. They stop a respectful 20 or so feet from you and say, one of them says, you are the mortals that had been working with Yearwind, yes?
I turn to Victor in kind of a face of, I need someone to respond to this.
Yes, we had been working with that great sorcerer.
Well, I thought it was a wizard.
Who asks, anyways?
I mean, they're wearing they look like Algard, so...
Yeah. I am Holly, and this is Castor of the Algard. We will escort you into Mithrandain.
Excellent.
So, this sounds perfectly fitting to me.
Yep. They one rides, 20 feet ahead of you, and one rides maybe 15 or 20 feet behind you. And they move at a leisurely pace to escort you towards Mithrandain. In a couple of cases, now that you're getting closer to the city, there are carts or whatever on the road, and they get the hell out of the way when they see Algard coming through. The one in the front has a lance and has put a pennant on it and is riding with it upright.
Just so that you're clear, our preferred color of flower petals to be tossed in front of us when we arrive is blue.
Wait,
What?
I guess we
Holly,
should just go with it.
Holly pulls rein and drops back and says, well, I don't know if anyone has arranged flower petals, but should any event planners come to me and ask, I'll be sure to convey your preferences, man.
Ah, very well.
Aladdin used ticker tape.
well-known fact.
Well-known fact, yes.
So the Algard Holly stops, or not stops, but rides their horse next to you. So you close the rift with the Shadowfell? That's the word?
Yes. My name is
How,
Wildfire. I am the immortal who closed the rift into the Shadowfell. How's it going? Nice to meet you.
Hundreds of years of war and fear have ended.
We killed this, and I'll hold up the skull in order.
Hey, have we stopped walking?
Holly's...
Are we still walking? Have we stopped?
Holly's still walking. I mean, her horse is still moving.
Okay.
At a slow walk.
Okay, I can't do this until we stop, so I'll have to wait till we stop.
I mean, if you stop walking, you'll see what she does.
No, I'm not going to stop walking. I'm not going to be rude.
Joe, you
Okay.
can do jazz hands at any time.
No. I need to get the chest out, because I want the chest to print me business cards. But,
Ooh.
So, what?
so I can just hand them out to everyone.
You're going to use all remaining 16 uses of that on business cards, because if you want some nice business cards, they're going to need to be textured and be, the
Color.
right eggshell color, and you're going to want that
Like
on boss
paper.
I'm
font.
just not going to get a lot, but honestly, I just need a couple of them. I'm just trying to get my name out there. It's great.
This will be the time that it burns out.
Are you saying you want Aladdin to continue to come to you for interdimensional questing?
I wouldn't say no to being a world famous adventurer.
That's
No. Planar famous adventure.
Planar famous
adventure.
adventurer.
Ooh.
Maybe next time our reward will be something other than just giving our possessions back to us.
Sorry, Joe.
can
Chat
only
has
hope.
spoken. Your business cards are now fuzzy and contain glitter.
That's fair. I mean, listen, whatever chat says, I'm cool with it.
Can't argue with chat.
You know what? You're a wizard. You specialize in flame. I would also be okay with you hand them a blank sheet of piece of paper, and when they hold it, it catches on fire, and left behind is your name.
That's way more than a gold. I was just looking to get I was just looking for pamphlets in essence. Trifolded, unfolded. You got to do that work manually. I don't have the labor to do that with one gold.
Well, wait a minute. We get the labor to cook the raw materials of the food. We can't get the labor to do the trifolds?
The box is a true mystery. You can spend your whole lifetime plumbing its.
I guess that makes sense because it gets too close to the book thing that Ron
Yep.
originally wanted it to be. So it does the unfolding. So
You can find out more by reading the 5th chapter of Wildfire's dissertation on how this box works.
After his body is never discovered.
A continual investigation of a magic item that has rules for sure.
The only thing that was left behind was a pink, fuzzy, glittery business card.
Yes.
Worth it.
Wait,
Worth it.
is it going to be one of those things where if you say the right chanting in front of it, it'll pop out parts of Wildfire's body, and which then you have to form them together, like in Horror on the Orient Express or something?
There you go. Go on a
they're gonna
quest
be
to reform
cults
me.
dedicated to reforming you from these boxes.
I like it.
To bring about the end of the
plot
world.
of
Season 3 of
Diablo?
Buffy? Yes.
Yeah, also,
yeah.
among other things.
No,
So,
it was
yes.
season 2, because Angel was collecting. I've been watching a lot of Buffy recently. Let's keep moving.
Buffy is a fully rational response to everything going on right now. All right. So as you start heading towards Mithrandain proper, you can now see the city in front of you. More and more creatures have joined the entourage in the back. There is a treant among them. It is a small and rather shaggy-looking willow treant, but a treant nonetheless.
I high five this treant.
Treant high fives you with a bunch of branches.
Worth it.
because they're all crashing.
I'm just glad they showed up on time. It would be weird if we had a truant treant trying to follow us around.
Oh,
Uh,
woof. Like, I can't not give inspiration for that.
There we
I
go.
mean,
Now my next semi-meaningless performance roll will have advantage.
yay!
And as closer you get to Mithrandane, like more Eladrin are like popping out to kind of watch you. And this time, instead of like dragging their children behind them or like shutting the doors as you pass, there's a lot more curiosity as you walk by. You can feel their ancient regard. Yeah, Ross is doing his best smile. It's really starting to scare some children.
Ross, no teeth in your smile. Remember we talked about this? No teeth?
But that's not how you humans do it.
It's
There's-
not.
But you're not a human.
None of us are-
Doing my best here.
I mean,
Less
the best
teeth.
because of
Less teeth.
partial, like...
Less teeth.
Do you even smell with your teeth over there, Victor?
He does everything else with them. So when you get to Mithrandane proper, you become definitely an object of curiosity. Several more members of the Algard fall in front of you and behind you, clearing your way, till you get towards the main palace. And waiting for you on the steps of the main palace are Rowan and Dahlia, the rulers of Mithrandane.
Hello.
There's music, there's a whole crowd here, there is a festive amount of small birds flying everywhere and carrying colored streamers that drop down in the crowd. It appears to be an impromptu celebration, and sure enough, a whole fleet of Eladrin children run forward with aprons and skirts full of blue flower petals to get them as far in front of Belwood as they can.
Now it's a party.
I lean over to Malagar and just in his ear. If this ends up with me not getting a medal and standing on the stairs in front of a crowd going, I'll give you a gold.
Okay, you better be prepared for that gold because Malaga sort of looks around. It just, I'm getting that vibe.
No. They're gonna give me a giant orb. Come on, guys. Yeah.
Okay. So Rowan and Dahlia are there. Malagar, you can tell Malagar more so than Ross, but how much?
I mean, this is disgustingly wholesome.
Yes.
I'm waving.
Okay, Malagar and Ross. You can see that Rowan is not quite gloating, but they're not too far away from gloating. Dahlia looks cross. Like she's got a nice face on it, but underneath she's kind of cross.
Are we in earshot of them yet, or are we
Sure,
still?
if you would like to be. Unless you're dragging your feet.
So, who won the bet?
Rowan comes forward, her tree-like bulk sort of eclipsing Dahlia's more flowery self, and says, "There wasn't a bet exactly. It's just that I'm very glad that you have solved a problem that has been needling us for quite some time."
Perhaps surprised.
A little surprised. I had heard several of my fiercest warriors went up against the forces guarding Cinderyan, the Winter City. A couple made it through to the Shadowfell, but were never heard from again. Their last reports indicated it was not. It was quite challenging. Please.
I thought the problem was if Eladrin went to the Shadowfell, they would just be like immediately corrupted or something.
That is what happened, yes.
So you didn't know that before you sent them.
No.
Hmm.
Regardless, if you would come inside, I believe we must needs talk.
Of course.
I'm very pleased.
You are brought inside. There's sounds of some sort of, I don't know, crowd noise out on the street. It sounds generally happy. You're brought in. You're offered food and drink. You're offered your rooms back if you would care to rest.
Nope, just did that.
Are we offered something that kind of looks like a small tree branch?
Like an acorn? No, not exactly. Rowan and Dahlia walk with you into a kind of relaxed library-looking area, and Dahlia sits very properly on one end of a couch, and Rowan kind of sprawls out on the other, gestures for you to take seats as are comfortable for you.
I will reach into my bag of holding and withdraw his dagger and return it to him. I believe this is yours. It was of great assistance.
Thank you. I felt the athame being used, as a matter of fact. Rowan secretes it somewhere in her clothes or branches. It's sometimes hard to tell which one is which and which is the other. So, we would love to hear the story of what happened. If you don't mind, I'd like to have our court chronicler in here as well.
Of course.
Rowan stands up, lazily strolls over to the door, speaks to someone out there, and within a few minutes, another Eladrin is led into the room. They are... I know who it is. They are kind of a tall, elderly-looking, male-presenting Eladrin with reddish brown hair that's gone silver at the temples, which is unusual because Eladrin don't generally show age. And he is dressed in clothes in various shades of dark green. He introduces himself. My name is Cedar. I am the court chronicler. I will be taking notes on this conversation as long as all of you are agreed to it.
Oh, aye.
Of course, my name is Wildfire, Wildfire. Just make sure you have it correct for posterity.
There's at least one Y in there somewhere. Just, scroll it in.
Yeah, feel free to slip a Y in there. Not necessarily always in the same place.
It's different in the Eladrin language versus common.
Is it just solid Ys in Eladrin?
It's just Ys in Eladrin.
Like Ys, Ws, and Ls. Like so many Ls.
I thought we were spelling it Moonfyre.
Yes.
I mean, he's a druid after all. You should make sure you note that down.
Moonfire's a pretty cool name, not gonna lie.
I feel like I had a Shadowrun character named that at some point, but
maybe. So the court chronicler asks for all of your names and a bit about each of you. He gestures to Ross. He gestures to Ross.
Right, so this is Ross. He's a very proud lizardfolk warrior from the swamplands of the prime material and grows to ginormous size when faced in battle. Also, sometimes it turns to stone. But we're not going to focus on that part in the story. But the first to fight, the first to protect his allies. And a fierce warrior indeed, along with his Drake Goose.
I will summon Goose.
Goose pops into existence, looks at everybody there, and immediately starts to clean herself.
I strike a heroic pose next to Goose, who is definitely licking her privates.
I mean, yes, that's what pets do in public. Yes, do you have anything you would like to add to that, Ross?
No, what she said sounded lovely. Spoken like my true wife.
Right, if only that was a thing.
The chronicler raises an eyebrow, makes more notes, and then just continues on.
Right then.
he gestures for the next person.
And this is our fearless leader, Victor Toussaint. Part stone, part elf, part human, all heart and bravery, wielding sacred elven sword, blade, and bow into battle.
I'll also pose heroically.
Next to my dog, who is licking her privates.
I mean, in battle, sometimes, you can't be phased by things like that.
No, the best part is, like, she stops, gets up, walks over next to you, and then keeps going.
That's a little extra.
Yeah,
It is.
She stays near us.
Oh,
Right, and then we have here our fearless healer and worshipper of
Sune, please.
Sune!
Licensed cleric of Sune.
Right, Malagar.
Visual artist of some renown.
Of the erotic arts.
Yes, and any scuttlebutt you've heard about legal entanglements regarding my involvement in the hospitality industry are greatly overblown, and I would object to any mention of that.
And are entirely restricted to the prime material, nothing to do with what's going on here, other than compassion and bravery and healing us and keeping us doing what's right.
Occasionally empowering our foes.
Occasionally.
Look, accidents happen, everybody, whiffs sometimes.
Yes.
Worse than that, but we're not going to get into that too much.
Don't judge.
Couldn't your bards leave that part out? Much like with the turning to stone part.
Well,
That's not the way any of this works.
You know what? I'm sure it was done heroically, sir.
Haha.
That's weird. Where I come, history is written by the victors. It is the way they say it is.
No, your Commander Victor isn't writing this. I am, sir.
Nice.
But
I mean,
Poor guy looks genuinely confused.
with that kind of
Genuine.
wordplay, Ross just kind of scratches his head like he doesn't get it.
That was amazing.
End yourself, ma'am.
Right! I am Princess Belwyn of Boulder Hall, called by many the Lioness for my prowess in battle and the heart that I have for both the nobility and the common folk. And I have joined this brave group of soldiers and Malagar. I don't know
Yes.
if you're a soldier. I don't think
Visual
you are.
artists.
Right, and this cunning visual artist in a quest to explore the known plains and bring forth glory to Boulder Hall. And then last but not least, we have the brains of the operation, Wildfire, who I cannot hope to put words to his prowess, so I'm going to let him do it.
I'm Wildfire. I hail from Ven Printalar in Aglaron. I was trained by Master Alain Corbière, who has sadly passed away. And I did originally have the idea to attempt to resolve this conflict.
Good. Rowan intervenes. Could you give us perhaps the overview of what happened?
Well, first there was a brave band hailing from Algarod who, through blood, tears, and the sacrifice of their companions, managed to secure their ancestral mythal. They were traveling back to bring it to protect their homeland from the depredations of the evil nation of Thay. And then some Thay were like, we're not going to give it back to you unless you go do this thing for us.
Rowan puts a hand over her face like she's scratching her cheek in order to hide her mouth. And you can just see a little divot in Dahlia's brows. Gets a little divoter.
That's
But the good news is we went forth and we met up with your wind, your wild, your...
I don't know why that's so hard.
Your
Your
wind,
wind,
my wind, our wind.
He had
our wind. The
He
wind
had
was
a-
shared, as was the wisdom.
He had already worked on a way to seal it, but sadly, without a group of people who were able to travel across the barrier, his theories were just that, theories. With our help, he was able to put them into practice. He channeled the magic from the Feywild side, and I channeled the magic from the Shadowfell side to seal the rift. It was his work that originally led me down the path of thinking this might be a possibility in the first place.
So what happened when you got over to the Feywild? Dahlia finally engages. When you got to the Shadowfell, what was it like? What happened? Was it
We fought a big eye monster.
What?
It was an epic battle.
Great. But before we did that, we crossed over and we found our way trudging across the most hostile of environments. And as we did, we ran into hated enemies from Fae, our enemies from our homeland, and enemies that were attempting to cross over and ruin your lives as well.
And then we dressed up as them.
Right! We used our cunning and guile and some of Wildfire's potent magics to disguise ourselves on them. And then...
Nearly as bad as that Winter City.
But they asked for what happened after we went through the Winter City.
We had to
keep up.
We had to travel a fair distance, though. The place that the Athma brought us to, while it was close, it was not exactly where we needed to land. So we had to travel for about a day to reach the Shadowfell equivalent of the injury.
Rowan interjects. A whole day?
About?
Our folk don't last long in the Shadowfell. The Eladrin that I had sent to try and recover years ago only lasted a few hours.
Yes, I think it's perhaps that very distance that did them in. If we would have just arrived on the other side and it would have been there, it would have been of simple work, but we had quite a journey that we had to take on to get there.
And you said these humans were there? Mortals?
Yes, Thayans.
Thayans.
It's a nation that is actually near to Aglaron, but they are a nation of evil users of magic.
Oh, the human wizards that have shown up with various Shadowfell incursions.
And it was interesting. They were there in the Shadowfell. I mean, we even talked to some, but they didn't have the actual rift. Wasn't guarded by them. They didn't have like an encampment around it or anything.
I wonder what they were doing there. Do you know?
Well, they were politicking.
Yes.
We came across some Thayan politicking in that we came across some Thayans that had killed other Thayans.
Well, there were some elements of the Thayans that I believe were looking for us. We thought we were hot when we were in the Prime Material. Hot on our trail was a group of Thayans who were attempting to claim the Mythal for themselves. They had discovered its secrets. We actually originally discovered the resting place of the Mythal via information that was brought to us by a Thayan spy, for lack of a better term. And so we were able to luckily recover it before them, but they were hot on our trails when we did recover it. And I think they tried to follow us and ended up in the Shadowfell in some fashion. Though it does seem like there were enough of them that perhaps the Thayans have just a normal presence there that at least I wasn't aware of.
There seemed to be a bit of conflict, though.
We have seen red-robed wizards with Shadowfell raiders from time to time for the past, I don't know, several hundred years.
Ross definitely hums like he knows what's going on.
The scribe's quiet scratching on paper is the only sound really in the background.
Sorry.
So what happened next after you went on this hike through the Shadowfell and found these Thayans?
We were able to, thanks to my magics and Belwyn's quick thinking and silver tongue, we were able to
It wasn't her silver tongue that got us through. It was her scary tongue? I don't know. She scared the bejesus out of those fans.
We were able to convince them that we were not a particular threat to them, and we were able to make our way to the rift itself. There we encountered a death tyrant, an ancient long dead beholder, who was guarding the location.
The skull is probably, 6 feet across.
Fine,
So.
I use 2 hands. I hold up a skull.
Fair enough. You brought it in with you.
It's a huge creature, so it's
Yeah.
more than 6 feet across.
Yeah, you're right.
Fine, I use 2 hands and a tail. I hold up a skull.
Yeah. More than strong enough.
Once we defeated the creature, we were able to get access to the rift, and the rift looked not dissimilar, right? Like it had a rock feature as well. Both sides seemed to have a kind of a circular rock feature that indicated the physical presence of it. And I was able to, with using Yearwood's magic and Yearwood's assistance from the Feywild, stitch the rift back together. As we were preparing the ritual, a large number of Shadowfell Desians kind of surrounded us from a distance, but did not approach. As well as, I believe it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Pidgey, was a giantess?
A giant figure, 30, 40 feet tall. It's a little hard to tell with the distance. It looked like a woman, dark clothes, a hood, large bird.
As well as what I honestly suspect was an avatar of some sort of the Raven Queen.
That gets a lot of wide eyes and drawback from Rowan and Dahlia.
I don't know if they didn't attack us during the ritual, and I don't know if the magics that Yearwood had prepared held them at bay, though I think more likely that they were there to just observe the rift being repaired. Ultimately, when we were making our way out, what I can only suspect is the avatar kind of raised her hand at us as we were leaving, whether it was a gesture of thanks or a gesture of just this once, I don't know. But for some power kept the creatures of Shadowfell out while we were performing the magic, and it was clear that they were drawn to it. They could feel it happening for sure.
We have no conflict with the Raven Queen herself. She tends to remain neutral in these things, but she does make her home in the Shadowfell.
Well, perhaps she watched over us as we did this and gave us a bit of assistance in terms of let's call it physical security while I was performing the ritual.
So the court chronicler asks more questions, describe the scene, and gives me, give me more visual details and that kind of stuff, almost as if he's trying to get the pictures of what you saw as well.
There will be embellishments.
Embellishments like what?
Heavy embellishments. Anything that's dark is the blackest night. Any fight is the most epic tussle. This was the largest eye tyrant, just shrouded in magic and hatred and glowing red eyes.
It had scores of eyes.
And it blasted apart everything that it could see, including giant pillars of stone, just turning the entire ground against us as it sludged like creatures of bone and terrible slime tried to pull us into the watery depths around
There's
the ring of rocks.
There's a sky beam.
It only had 8 eyes, but the waters of bone and tar and darkness those did exist. They were pretty creepy.
Now tell the tale of
We
when
felt
I
like
tried
they
to
were
get that
trying to
package of
attack us.
beef jerky open.
It was vacuum sealed,
No!
as if from the center of a sun.
No!
Trying to tug at it was like trying to tug at space itself.
Ah!
And still, I was denied.
I'll certainly talk through with them like how the right, like what I did during the ritual. Talk about the kind of the magics that I performed, so they have some detail there.
Do you talk to them about how you wove the planes together?
Did I not? I don't think I did that because that was the faster option, right? I didn't do the faster option.
The faster option would have been to put a strong patch on it.
Yes, I do describe what I did.
Yeah.
Very specifically.
Well, Rowan and Dahlia listen attentively during the whole thing, and then Dahlia starts. We are extremely grateful, obviously. And we want to help our distant kin in Aglarond. And I fear that the Mythal will not be cared for adequately there. Look what happened to it last time.
I mean, it's nice to have fears and all, but we had a deal that we would aid you and you would give us our thing in return. Is that what the word of the Eladrin's worth?
Rowan quickly intervenes. Of course not. We will give you the Mythal back. We are in a much better position to defend ourselves than our distant kin in Aglarond. And she seems to aim that last part more at Dahlia than at you.
And we will do everything we are capable of making sure that it is not misused. But, we are but mortals.
So, at that, Ross will actually step forward towards Dahlia and say, "If it is any constellation, I have been among these Aglarondians for a time. Brief as it is, they have shown themselves to be strong, capable defenders of what they deem worthy of their attention. Victor's got a strong, intelligent head on his shoulders, and Wildfire is capable of harnessing incredibly strong magics. I think these kin will be better protectors of your Mythal than those that came before them. But that's just from what I've seen."
Dahlia actually leans forward and opens her hands to you and says, I agree. That Victor seems like a prime example of the type of person we would want to have the Mythal. And clearly Wildfire's ability to understand and bend magic to his will is without parallel. And I'm sure if we gave them the Mythal, it would be very well protected. But what about their children and their children's children and their children in 10 generations from now?
I have some good news for you. Do you see the rock formations on Victor's Creek?
She leans over and says, yes, they are almost Fey-like.
They will ensure that he will outlive all of his kin, for he is promised to the... Shit, I had something for this line!
Gallimore!
Watching his children and his children's children and his children's 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 pass into dust before him.
Wait, we've got a really great, song number ready for that. It goes something like, "Who wants to live forever? Who dares to live forever?"
I'm really sorry about this digression, actually.
Well, I'm really proud of the music number. We got this whole group putting it together. They've got a bunch of other great songs about, bad guys biting the dust, all kinds of stuff.
I mean, at Malagar's apology, Ross kind of deflates a little bit like a balloon, was I off mark?
I think Malagar was talking about Brangian's musical interlude.
Whose?
Musical interlude, sorry. Typo.
Can't ever escape from the shadow.
Nope.
I understand your concerns. One thing we should discuss, I suppose, the reason that there was such damage between the realms was because of how the mythal was originally installed. What can we do to prevent that damage happening a second time in case 100 generations from now some fool makes the same mistake?
Rowan thinks about it and says, what if you hid it so well that they couldn't discover it? I mean, do you think putting it somewhere with every warning in the world on it would deter someone 10 generations from now?
Doesn't it have to be installed in like a installation to make the countrywide shield work? I mean, can't it just be anywhere?
It could be anywhere, though it will be more efficacious if it is in a part of Aglarond that is somewhat cotangent with the Feywild. That would be the area in the middle of the Yearwood, in the center of the country, I believe.
Well, could you aid us then, right? Provide us a location that we could use, and perhaps some baffling magics that we could set up that would stop anyone from finding it? Then we will all pass into the next life, and no one will be able to find it. And it will just be there protecting.
Well, nobody on our side. You'll still know where it is, so... But that's great, because you're worried about us fucking up, so this way it lies on you.
Yeah, well, that is a good point. I do not have an idea, but I will call upon Yearwind and see if he does. He has been long a patron of Aglarond and is intimately familiar with it.
Yes, I would be honored to take Yearwind's advice again.
I believe he's sending a representative here.
I believe that was the willow tree that traveled into the city with us.
Ah, yes, most of the Treants are regard Yearwind as something of a grandfather. Well, once I talk to the old tree himself, perhaps I'll know more. I will return the mythal to you. I ask you, though I do not command you, I ask you not to leave with it until we've talked to Yearwind.
I look at Victor. I think that's reasonable.
Yes, we need some time to get ourselves back into fighting shape anyway.
Very well. You, of course, are welcome to everything that Mithrandain can offer to you. I can imagine the whole city will be open to you, and you will be persons of some note and curiosity among the population. If anyone gets to... you may call in the Algard for any help that you might need.
Excellent. Thank you.
Rowan leaves the room and then comes back 5 minutes later. Dahlia's just kind of lost in thoughts. And the court chronicler leaves. But she comes back 5 minutes later and holds open her hands. You can see that bright greenish-yellow light emanating from a single acorn in her hands. And she kind of holds it out to y'all.
Wildfire will reach forward and pick it back up.
Okay. When you touch it with your bare skin, you can feel the power of the mythal flooding into you, revitalizing your magic. You feel healthy and strong and powerful.
Huh.
It's not heavy, is it?
Nope.
Not here. I'd imagine when we travel back to the prime material, it will be heavy again.
You look surprised, Wildfire.
I have been having some issues with my magic, and it feels like touching the mythal there has helped in some way.
Oh, is that so?
Well, to
Can
be
anyone
fair,
get in on this?
to be fair, the mythal caused it in the first place, so
Yes.
I mean, seems only fair, I suppose. I mean, you can certainly touch it. I mean,
Yes, Malagar will extend a finger and gently circle it around the cap of the acorn.
All right. You are treated to a vision of ancient ancestors of yourself and all modern elves, as they were time unto the past of immortals, when every elf had a truly infinite lifespan for any of them to come to the prime material.
Why did we ever leave?
It is the nature of mortals to want to explore, to experiment.
But we were immortal at that point, so...
And their immortality was sacrificed to create that mythal and to make a place in Aglaron that they could call home.
I still have some questions, but I'll accept that.
Can anybody touch it?
Of course. I do not stop anyone from touching it, though it seems to be most effective when you touch it with bare skin.
I turn to Ross. You got any of those bear skin? What?
With your flesh! With your flesh!
Take
your gauntlet off!
I take my gauntlet off and I lean in.
A bear skin. Aww.
So, Belwyn doesn't have the same kind of connection to it that Malagar might.
No, but my god might.
Yes, and you can kind of see almost hazily the web of life and how it connects everything together, and where Nobanyan's place in that web is, where she is a hunter and a pride leader, and eventually she will fall and become food for those beneath her, and then become the grass, and the cycle starts anew. Of course, it's all metaphorical because Nobanyan is immortal, but you can appreciate the duality.
I offer it towards Ross.
Ross kind of shakes his head and says, I had a bad experience once.
You really did.
Ooh, what about Goose? Can Goose touch it?
That's a Ross question.
I'm waiting.
Do we really think giving Goose the artifact of power, even but for a moment, would be the smartest idea?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why you think you should keep it from her. Like, she's her own woman to decide what she wants to touch and not.
She and all 1 point of her intelligence are her own creatures.
You do know she's more likely to try and eat it than not.
That's not going to happen. I turn to Victor and proffer to him.
All right, I will. I'll like lift it out of Wildfire's hand, like just for a short time, like just holding it over it. But so I'm the only one touching it just for a few seconds, and then I'll put it back.
Okay. So you can feel the tripartite pull of your human side, your elven side, and your somewhat newly discovered
Caleb Moore!
Connection to the Caleb Moore. Now, the Caleb Moore are a fairy creature. They're also an elemental creature. It's complicated. They're complicated. But you have a very sharp feeling of pull towards the elven side and the Caleb Moore side. And you figure if you had this and really used it, you could probably shed the human part of yourself, which would render you immortal.
Just kill that human side real dead.
But he's supposed to die for Aglaron. How does that work if he becomes immortal?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem, isn't it?
I'd be turned into an inanimate statue.
No, you wouldn't.
And then a great hero of Aglaron would use me to beat some Thans senseless until I broke.
No, because the elven side of you wouldn't be statuary.
That's not very tempting to Victor right now. Let's circle back when I'm starting to feel some age in my knees.
Yeah, after he's done a couple superhero landings.
You can understand, perhaps, Rowan continues, that many mortals might be tempted to use this item's power for their own personal benefit.
I do understand that, yes.
And any wizard, and she intentionally does not look at Wildfire, could take this and incorporate it into their own personal magic in such a way that they would have power that has not been represented in the prime material in this particular way in a very long time.
Well, luckily, our only goal is to protect our country. We are keeping it from those who would do otherwise.
Well, there will be many mortals that want a piece of it, that's for sure. Well, in that case, please do enjoy the city and all that lies in it. You are considered our personal guests, and your way should be made easy because of it. Hopefully we will have some additional knowledge from Yerwind in the morning.
Excellent, thank you. I kind of bow to both of them.
Rowan rises and bows back. We are deeply grateful to all of you. And then she winks at Wildfire, kind of shifting her body so Dahlia couldn't see it. And it's totally I was totally right.
Wildfire kind of nods at both of them and turns and leaves.
Paige,
go ahead.
remind me, the food here wasn't all just like sticks and leaves and shit, was it?
No. They actually have a lot of very delicious, they have a lot of partridge and rabbit. They don't tend to have a lot of large vertebrate meat, but they have plenty smaller vertebrate meat.
But you know where we do have a lot? In the box.
Yes, you can get your beef sashimi on in the box.
I think this calls for a celebration. I think we should go out on the town and use our newfound hospitality, especially to get some more of those bird things. Those were quite delicious.
I agree. Perhaps the Algard could tell us a good place for some warriors to unwind.
And that's how they ended up in the drunk take of the Feywild.
We have diplomatic immunity.
That's true.
Diplomatic immunity.
We'll get put back in our room under guard.
I think it's pretty obvious that next episode is going to start with Victor waking up naked on a roof somewhere with a gun and a tiger, and then it's just the rest of the episode is him figuring out the fuck.
You know, I actually have not seen The Hangover, so maybe I will have to watch it before next week, and it'll just be a murder mystery, not a murder mystery, but a mystery hunt.
I know exactly what we're doing this weekend.
But to see what happens, you'll have to find out next week on Feats and Fables.
That's not.
That's
what
not
we do.
I thought I would do any of this.
It's fine.
No, that's before we start the official outro. The outro music's not on.
That's
But
true.
I'm gonna turn it on now.
But whose
That's
fault
I'm
is
excited.
that?
Okay.
Wait
Do
for
it.
it. It'll be worth it. It's
Oh,
worth
I'm
the
so
wait.
excited.
This is it.
Ow.
I can feel it
There we
coming.
go. Thank you, friends, for joining us on this adventure tonight. Please bring your friends to enjoy the show with you. We're really trying to grow our audience. We need all the help we can get, obviously. Thank you, chat, for your inspiration. We love having you with us. We have missed our dear friends so much, and it's good to get to interact with you this way. We'd like to thank our listeners and supporters, particularly Dan Goyette and Rally Security, who resubscribed tonight.
And Shakuva.
And Shakuva.
And Old Slow
And
Tiger.
Old Clay
And
Tiger, who wants us to dance right now.
Right now.
No, let's wait. Let's get to the start of the porch leg. We can dance at the start of the porch leg.
Okay, fair enough. Coda, anyone else we need to send a shout out to?
Nope, that covers it. I was gonna say we're dancing for Old Slow Tiger, who thought he could slip it in during our outro so that we wouldn't dance.
Yes, we'll get him in porch flag. Are we
There's no
raiding
safety.
tonight?
We are. We are going to be tossing this raid over to Quests and Chaos, provided they're actually on. They're scheduled to start at 10, so I'm going to be checking that during the porch lag.
Okay. They looked like a really fun group, so that'll be fun. All right, so hang out for our porch lag, and please join us next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to see what happens next, and follow us
To
adventure!